And tonight, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, wind waves 2 to 3 feet, west swell 2 to 4 feet at 18 seconds. And tomorrow, south.
The following program contains the opinions of its host and guests, not those of this network. The opinions expressed are for non-commercial informational purposes only. Listeners are cautioned not to rely on program content to treat or prevent disease, but are advised to consult with a licensed healthcare professional where they live for diagnosis and treatment of disease.
And now, the superstar of alternative health and purveyor of medical truth, Dr. Joel Wallach.
Hello and welcome to Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Dr. Joel Wallach, your host, a veterinarian and physician. And I'm here for kids and baby boomers and seniors who don't want to die at 75.5 like their parents and grandparents. I'm here for kids and baby boomers and seniors who don't want to be sick and miserable for the last 10 to 15 years of their life like their parents and grandparents. We do have lines open. Give us a call toll-free, 1-888-379-2552. Again, that's toll-free, 1-888-379-2552. Don't forget my website, www.drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com. And if you are not a techie and want to use a toll-free number to get to wellness publications, get my books and CDs and DVDs, you can contact me at 1-800-755-4656. That's 1-800-755-4656. Well, I've been, doing some studying and accumulating some really crazy figures here. And I want to, look at athletes, okay? And so the life expectancy of athletes, now this is, from the government. This is government figures. These are government figures. Life expectancy in professional athletes in America, this is just America only, ranges from 53 to 59 with an average of 56.7. Okay? Athletes under the age of 25, each year, under the age of 25, there's 2,000 of them that die of sudden heart death, okay, cardiomyopathy heart disease. It's an adult form of SIDS, sudden death syndrome. I'm the guy that found out the cause prevention of sudden death syndrome, and so I recognize this cardiomyopathy heart disease in young athletes, okay, and it also occurs in turkeys, okay. It's called round heart disease or Keyshan disease after this place in China that has very high level, okay. And of course, I've done 1,700 autopsies on kids in Keyshan province, okay, in Heilongjiang province, in Keyshan University, okay, in China, that died of these cardiomyopathy heart disease problems, okay. Billionaires' average life expectancy, according to the government, is 66 years of age. Let's see here. ER doctors, emergency room doctors, is 58.7. Holy moly, okay. And then, let's see here. Let's look a little deeper. And, of course, we have what we call a new bull in town. There's been all these energy drinks and so forth, and they're energy drinks. They're not meant to be a nutritional drink. They're energy drinks, okay? The big one, of course, is Red Bull. That's why we say there's another bull in town, okay? And this is, what should I say, it's one of those things where Red Bull, they sell 7.9 billion cans a year of their drink. But their drink is not a nutritional drink. It is a energy drink. Okay? So let's look a little bit deeper here. Here again, there's a new bull in town. And you need to get 3 CDs of mine, which when we first came out with our Rebound sports drink, which is a nutritional drink, it has 100 nutrients and it has 75 to 78 minerals in it, depending on which deposit we're getting that particular batch from. 75 to 78 minerals. Red Bull has 1 mineral, magnesium. We have 75 to 78 minerals, depending on the location we get it from on the batch, okay? And then we have 25 vitamins and amino acids in there, and then plus a whole bunch of other herbs and things, okay? This is a nutritional drink. So these CDs that you want to get a hold of so you understand what's going on here, and you can talk to people and help them decide what they want to do. Do you want just an energy drink, or do you want something that's going to add nutrition and add years to your life? Okay. One of the co-founders, who's a billionaire of Red Bull, just died a month ago at age 78. Okay. He was bragging until the time he died that he was drinking 10 cans of Red Bull a day. Okay, well, dead athletes don't lie. That's a big one. Dead athletes don't lie. It's made after dead doctors don't lie, same purpose. And then the second one is, let's see here, exercise without supplementation is suicide. Because doctors say, oh, don't waste your money on vitamins. No, just exercise and eat well, you get everything you need. No. Exercise without supplementation is suicide. And then the third CD in the set is called What Kills Billionaires? What Kills Billionaires? We looked up the death reports on billionaires, what they die from, is like crazy. Remember, the life expectancy of billionaires in America is 66 years. So what do they die from? They're dying of something at that early age. We collected all that stuff and put it in this CD called What Kills Billionaires. All right. Now, I also want you to go to, let's see here, you got to go to Youngevity Official Private Facebook Group, Youngevity Official Private Facebook Group, and you go to Facebook Online, and you hit right click and save, and you'll get it. You'll be able to take it right off this, off this computer thing, and you'll have it. And it's one of those things where I urge you to get these CDs, and let's get together and get this information out there, because we are a nutrition/energy drink. We are a nutrition first, and then an energy drink second. Okay, so we're both. Red Bull is a energy drink. And so it's one of those things where you can add 25 to 50 healthy years of your life by going our direction. Now, when you look at around the world, okay, there's so many countries that do better than we do. The longevity record is from Jean Calment from France. She died at 122 years and 164 days in 1997. Okay, that beats 58 for our emergency room doctors. Okay, and see, USA, our average lifespan in America is 75 to 77, depending on whose data you look at. Australia's 82.9, Japan's 84.7, Spain is 82, Germany's 81.26. I thought that was funny. And we'll be back after these messages.
You're listening to Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network with your host, Dr. Joel Wallach. If you've got questions for Dr. Wallach, call us weekdays at between noon and 1 p.m. Pacific Time at 831-685-1080, toll free 888-379-2552.
If you're looking for a quality multivitamin and mineral product, grab yourself Youngevity's Beyond Tangy Tangerine, a blend of plant-derived minerals combined with vitamins, amino acids, and other beneficial nutrients. This all-natural product contains no starch, wheat, or yeast, with no artificial sweeteners or preservatives, and it's glycemic friendly. Each scoop of the NutriCrystals contain equal amounts of all the nutrients. It starts out as a liquid, then is freeze-dried to ensure each scoop has the same nutrients as the last scoop. So if you want to get your hands on a quality nutritional supplement designed to give the body the raw materials it needs to rebuild, Youngevity's Beyond Tangy Tangerine is available in 1-pound canisters and also in 30-count on-the-go stick packs. Contact your local Youngevity associate and get this great multivitamin and mineral product, and don't forget to ask about the home-based business opportunity.
Hello, Judy DeVilbus here. If I could only afford to get one product out of everything, that product would be the Ultimate Classic. It has the vitamins, the minerals, the bioflavonoids. It even has grapeseed extract. The one product that would give you just about everything under the sun you would need for a perfect nutritional program would be the Ultimate Classic. By the way, people that are on the go, it's very, very hard to take the liquids with them when they go on their trip to get their supplements in every day. Well, you know something? You can use the Ultimate Daily Tablets and the mineral capsules. When I'm going on a trip, if I have enough room, I just take the 2 bottles with me. If not, just use a little baggie and take a couple of daily doses with you. It's very simple. It's very easy. There's no mess, no fuss, no refrigeration. Just take your capsules, take your tablets, and you're finished for the day.
To order these products, call your local Youngevity distributor today.
We're back. We're Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Youngevity 9-Pack First Aid. We do have lines open. Give us a call toll free, 1-888-379-2552. Again, that's toll free, 1-888-379-2552. Don't forget my website, www.drjwallach.com, to get a hold of my books and CDs and DVDs. And don't forget those CDs, right, to help you get the information out to people. Dead Athletes Don't Lie. Second one is see Exercise on Supplementation and Suicide. The third one is What Kills Billionaires. Everybody needs to listen to those 3 CDs. Get a hold of the book Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Get a hold of the CD, DVD, and book set to Truth About Nutrition. And get the information and add 25 to 50 healthful years of your life. This is not difficult. Okay? Now, you just look at simple diseases like arthritis and osteoporosis, 2 very simple diseases, very simple nutritional deficiencies. We can get rid of arthritis and osteoporosis in just a couple of weeks, okay, with our Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and some collagen peptides and MSM, beyond OsteoFX, vitamin D3. This is not difficult, okay? We can prevent it if you take all these things beforehand, and if you get these diseases, I don't care if you've had it for 20, 30, 40 years, we can reverse it in weeks, okay? And you're talking about pennies a day, okay? And no risk of, getting infections and dying from anesthesia and all that kind of stuff. Well, right now we're spending, according to the U.S. government, we're spending $626.8 billion a year just to treat the symptoms of arthritis. Just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis in America alone, we're spending $2.3 trillion. So between those two, osteoporosis and arthritis, we're spending $3 trillion a year just to treat the symptoms of that's disease. Just a simple nutritional deficiency disease, osteoporosis and arthritis. Okay? And so, and of course, that doesn't say anything about all the deaths, resulted because people weren't getting nutrition. They were just getting painkillers and surgery and all that kind of stuff, knee replacements, hip replacements. This is crazy when you think about it. And so these diseases in America have cost us more money than all the wars we've ever fought in combined. Okay? So I don't know how to say it any other way. So save an enormous amount of money, add 25 to 50 healthy years of your life, increase the quality of your life. It doesn't get any better than that. This is not difficult to understand. And just, don't forget, there's 37 different diseases you can get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. And you get that book and CD set, okay, it's called It's All in Your Head. And on page 6, in the first part of the book, in the prologue part of the book, it has a picture of 2 skulls. One is a normal skull, it's a quarter of an inch thick. And, it's cut in half so you can actually see it's a quarter of an inch thick. And the other skull is cut in half, but it's an inch thick. The one that's an inch thick is osteoporosis skull. There's 12 pairs of cranial nerves. There's a spinal cord. There's 37 different diseases you get that your doctor will send you to specialists and surgeries and all this kind of stuff. It's just a simple nutritional deficiency disease. I mean, how silly is this? This is crazy when you think about it. It costs us an enormous amount of money, a risk of death from the procedures, okay? And when you can just, for literally pennies a day, regrow the bones, regrow the skull, regrow your joints. You won't need to have your legs amputated. You won't need to have a double knee replacement, double hip replacement, none of that stuff, because you can regrow everything. As your doctor told you, you can you have a choice. You can take a couple of weeks or a month or so and regrow everything, or you want to just get it done overnight with a double knee replacement. Okay, well, you take your choice. This is America. Personally, I go with, I'll take a couple of weeks and regrow everything. Okay. I don't want to have a double knee replacement. I don't want to have a double hip replacement. I don't want the risk of anesthesia death. Okay? So this is not a difficult thing, when you look at it. This is actually quite simple, straightforward, and just osteoporosis and arthritis alone has cost us more financially than all the wars we've ever fought in combined. Now you think about that. Where's that money going? Who's getting the money? We'll be back after these messages.
You're listening to Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network with your host, Dr. Joel Wallach. If you've got questions for Dr. Wallach, call us weekdays between noon and 1 p.m. Pacific Time at 831-685-1080, toll free 888-379-2552.
If you're the type of person who likes to volunteer and help others, this should interest you. What better way to help people than to help them with improved health? Youngevity has been helping people promote optimal health among others for decades. Our approach to health is drastically different than medical doctors, who mostly only treat symptoms. As a veterinarian, Dr. Joel Wallach discovered that many common disease states are actually preventable and reversible. Our mission is to help people achieve overall health and wellness and to help educate others to achieve optimal wellness as well. And here's the best part. While helping people with their health and wellness, you'll also be able to build your very own home-based business. For more information, contact your local Youngevity associate. And don't forget to ask about the home-based business opportunity.
The antioxidants found in many fruits and vegetables are known to help support and promote good health. Research has also shown that dark chocolate, once known as the food of the gods, is rich in healthy nutrients. In fact, dark chocolate is higher in antioxidant content than any other food. Youngevity has combined a proprietary blend of velvety rich dark chocolate with whole fruit pulp and whole fruit juice extracts from mangosteen, goji or wolfberry, acai berry, and cherry, along with vitamins and minerals, producing a smooth, rich, delectable concentrate called Cocogevity. It tastes so great, I sometimes drink it right out of the bottle or pour it over ice cream. Cocogevity is highly bioavailable, meaning your body will absorb and make use of all of these healthy nutrients. If you'd like to learn more about nutritional supplementation, call your local Youngevity associate, and don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities. You've listened to physician and veterinarian Dr. Joel Wallach help many people on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie talk radio program. You've also heard hundreds of people tell how Dr. Wallach and Youngevity products have changed their lives. If you're now convinced that Dr. Wallach is onto something and you want to try Youngevity's premium quality products for yourself, we can connect you with a distributor that serves your local area. Simply call our special helpline voicemail at 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call right now and leave your name, telephone number, or email address, and we'll see to it that the right person contacts you shortly. Remember, the phone number, 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call now to change your life. That's 313-444-3463.
We're back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Youngevity, 95 Crusade. We do have lines open. Give us a call toll free, 1-888-379-2552. Again, that's toll free, 1-888-379-2552. Don't forget my website, www.drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com for my books and CDs and DVDs. And let's see here. Charmaine, are you here?
I'm here, yes.
Okay. Now, how many people do you think you hear from or see in a month's time that have osteoporosis of the skull?
Well, not a lot anymore, but probably a good share of them before, before COVID,
well, the people who are hanging out with us, we reversed their osteoporosis of the skull.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's more prevalent than people realize. It's quite prevalent, I think.
Yeah, well, did you ever hear of a doctor telling a patient that they had osteoporosis of the skull?
No, because they don't know diddly squat about that.
No, doctors don't know anything about osteoporosis of the skull. They can't believe that osteoporosis occurs anywhere in the body except below the shoulders, like in your shoulders, in your arms, your vertebrae, your hips, your knees, your pelvis. Those are the only places they believe you get osteoporosis. They don't get taught in school. They're totally ignorant when it comes to osteoporosis of the skull. And that's why we came out with the book, It's All in Your Head, the book and the CD. And it's one of those things not written in a very technical way. It's written so the average person without a medical background can understand it. And there's 37 different diseases that are the result of osteoporosis of the skull. The skull squeezes 12 pairs of cranial nerves, the skull squeezes the spinal cord, and there's 17 diseases alone. Out of that 37, there's 17 of them that occur south of the skull because people don't realize it, but your spinal cord is formed in your brain and comes out of the foramen magnum, that big hole. That's Latin for big hole in the back of your skull, and the spinal cord comes out. And when you get osteoporosis, the skull fills up the tunnels that these nerves go through and the spinal cord goes through with connective tissue, and the connective tissue puts pressure on those nerves in the spinal cord and create all these diseases. And then the doctors refer these people to different specialists that they went to school with or in their family or whatever, and they just kind of keep this thing going. It's crazy because, these things, you reverse them in a couple of weeks. This is not difficult. And so I'm just so happy that, yourself, you are able to help so many people. I probably see a couple hundred people a month who have osteoporosis of the skull, between radio and Zooms and
right.
In person. And so we see hundreds of them a month. And so it's one of those things where we have to educate people, and of course that's what we do. We educate people, and we really don't charge them for the education. We really don't charge them. Do you charge an office fee? I don't.
No, and isn't that ironic that we tell the truth, and yet the pharmaceutical companies are run by the colleges are run by the pharmaceutical companies, so they dictate the curriculum, and all they teach these young poor people to do is be legal drug pushers. And they don't really know anything about the diseases. All they know is what pharmaceutical drug they told them to give them or prescribe for them. And it won't fix it. It just covers up the symptoms while they're getting worse.
Well, that's why you get an A+, dear. We'll be back after these messages.
You're listening to Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network with your host, Dr. Joel Wallach. If you've got questions for Dr. Wallach, call us weekdays between noon and 1 p.m. Pacific at 831-685-1080, toll free 888-379-2552. You've listened to physician and veterinarian Dr. Joel Wallach help many people on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie talk radio program. You've also heard hundreds of people tell how Dr. Wallach and Youngevity products have changed their lives. If you're now convinced that Dr. Wallach is onto something and you want to try Youngevity's premium quality products for yourself, we can connect you with a distributor that serves your local area. Simply call our special helpline voicemail at 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call right now and leave your name, telephone number, or email address, and we'll see to it that the right person contacts you shortly. Remember, the phone number, 313-444-3463. 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call now to change your life. That's 313-444-3463.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, your host of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. If you're interested in a colon cleanse, blood cleanse, liver cleanse, in the classical herbal way, you want to ask your Youngevity associate for Herbal Rainforest. Herbal Rainforest has 16 herbs, 16 cleansing herbs, classic cleansing herbs, and 77 plant minerals. That's right, and these are all organic. It doesn't get any better than that. In your busy day, and you're around all these toxins out there, in your workplace, on the way home, going to work, in your food, in the air, in the water, you need Herbal Rainforest. I guarantee you, it will give you a cleanse. You can control the dose. It's a liquid. It tastes good. It doesn't get any better than this. A colon that's happy makes you happy. Nothing better than a happy colon. Herbal Rainforest. Clean it out.
For more information on this product or others you've heard about on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program, call your local Youngevity associate today. And don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities.
Greetings, everyone. Judy DeVilbus here. What do you think of when you hear the words tangy tangerine? Well, I think of like a sweet, tangy tasting something. Well, what I'm referring to is the Ultimate Tangy Tangerine. It's a fantastic product. It has everything you need, and a great benefit is it's very, very delicious. It's very easy to drink. I've suggested it even to youngsters. Even children like it. Even little guys. Even little girls. They come right into my office. Their parents can't get them to take those chewables, and besides that, they're not as good as Tangy Tangerine. And I give them a little taste of that, and you know something? They're pleased as punch. So, if it's good for a child, and it tastes delicious, why not you? There's no excuse not to take a vitamin when it tastes as good as that does. So how about it? Tangy Tangerine should be the answer to all of your nutritional program problems.
For more information or to order, call your Youngevity distributor today. And don't forget to ask about Youngevity home-based business opportunities.
This is the ZBS Radio Network.
We're back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here from Youngevity, and I have to say we do have lines open. Give us a call toll-free, 1-888-379-2552. Don't forget my website for books and CDs and DVDs, www.drjwallach.com. And let's see here. Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Texas. And Cooper, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Cooper. How can we help you?
Wallach? Yeah, I was
yes.
I was on ago, and I was talking to you about my son and daughter that had cystic fibrosis. I don't know.
Okay.
If you remember.
You're not very clear. You're not very clear. You're speaking into a speaker or microphone or something.
Is that better?
That's much better.
Okay. Yeah, I was on a few months ago about the issues with my son and daughter having cystic fibrosis.
Okay.
And you had given us a little bit of regimen to start giving them, but you weren't very clear as far as like my daughter's breastfeeding and some of the things that you told us to take, he can't take.
Okay, so the baby has CF, right? Or the mother
Yes,
has
sir.
CF?
The baby, my oldest son and my youngest daughter, and the middle one has nothing. There's nothing wrong with the middle one.
Okay. Well, cystic fibrosis is not a genetic disease. It's a simple nutritional deficiency disease. Is this daughter that has cystic fibrosis, is she breastfeeding the baby with cystic fibrosis?
My wife is not. She doesn't have nothing wrong with her, but the baby does. That's breastfeeding, yes.
Okay, the mother, the grandmother is breastfeeding the baby?
No, my wife.
Confused.
My wife has nothing wrong with her. I thought you were asking if she had cystic fibrosis.
Okay. Now this baby is
my daughter has cystic fibrosis.
Okay, stop. This baby that has cystic fibrosis, is it the baby of your wife?
No, that's my baby, my daughter.
And you're breastfeeding the baby?
No, my wife is feeding it. Of course. Why would you be asking that?
Because you're going in circles. You're not answering my question. Okay.
The baby
have a wife.
has cystic fibrosis. She's breastfeeding.
Okay. Who is the mother? Who's the mother?
My wife.
Okay. And does your wife have cystic fibrosis?
No.
Okay. There's somebody else that has cystic fibrosis. Who is that?
It's my oldest son.
Okay. Is he from a different mother?
5.
Or the same?
No. Same mother.
Same
We're
mother.
all 3 from the same mother. Yes.
Okay. So you have 2 out of 3 kids with cystic fibrosis.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the mother who's breastfeeding this baby with cystic fibrosis needs to be off all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no Ryan oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then she needs to be taking, how much does she weigh? How much does your wife weigh?
150 pounds, probably.
Okay. And she needs to be taking 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose filling twice a day. She needs to be taking the MSM, 2 bottles a month. So she can take 3 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She needs to be taking extra of our selenium, so you can take 3 twice a day, okay, of our selenium. Take our selenium with the 5 cofactors in them. Then she also needs to be taking our ultimate enzymes. Just hang on, we're going to give you something. We got to finish this up, so hang on. We'll be back after these messages.
You're listening to Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network with your host, Dr. Joel Wallach. If you've got questions for Dr. Wallach, call us weekdays between noon and 1 p.m. Pacific Time at 831-685-1080, toll free, 888-379-2552. You've listened to physician and veterinarian Dr. Joel Wallach help many people on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie talk radio program. You've also heard hundreds of people tell how Dr. Wallach and Youngevity products have changed their lives. If you're now convinced that Dr. Wallach is onto something and you want to try Youngevity's premium quality products for yourself, we can connect you with a distributor that serves your local area. Simply call our special helpline voicemail at 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call right now and leave your name, telephone number, or email address, and we'll see to it that the right person contacts you shortly. Remember, the phone number, 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call now to change your life. That's 313-444-3463.
I am Judy DeVilbus. Here I am speaking to you again. I just wanted to tell you that recently I started drinking the Whey Shakes again, the chocolate Whey Shake. And you need to remember, the Whey Shake isn't just for losing weight. It's a fantastic place to get your great protein. And if you're trying to gain weight, you can take it along with your meals. And the best part is, if you want to just have a great protein shake, do like I do. Put it over ice, stir it up, and you can sip on it for 20 minutes to an hour. I do it every single day. I absolutely love it. You need to get back to it, too. It's really good for you. And it makes not fat, but it makes muscle after you work out. And you can also mix it up in a blender with an egg, and you have the most incredible health protein shake. Or mix it with a little water, stir it up, and you have a little pudding. And who doesn't like pudding?
For more information or to order, call your Youngevity distributor today. And don't forget to ask about Youngevity home-based business opportunities.
Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here. And do give us a call, 1-888-379-2552. That's 1-888-379-2552. And let's see here. Doug, let's go right back to Cooper and finish this cystic fibrosis thing up. I'm the guy that discovered the cause, prevention, and cure of cystic fibrosis. Okay? And, of course, I got the Klaus Schwartz Award, a great international award, and the Lifetime Achievement Award from the United Nations for this. Okay? And so, you know, you're speaking to somebody who knows cystic fibrosis from the beginning to the end. The mother who's breastfeeding this baby needs to be taking all 90 essential nutrients and stay away from all the bad stuff so she can absorb it. Okay? Then the baby, in addition to the mother's breast milk, baby should be getting our kids' toddy. Okay? 1 meal a day, kids' toddy. In addition to the kids' toddy, and of course the dosage is on the back label of the bottle. It's a liquid. I also want the baby to have our Cherry Mins, use the same dosage chart as on the back of the bottle of kids' toddy. And then I also want the baby to have 2 of our EFAs a day. One at breakfast, one at dinner time. Obviously, they have their soft gel capsules. They have to be punctured. They have the essential fatty acids, which help with the breathing part of cystic fibrosis, the respiratory stuff. And so there has to be one kid's toddy meal per day to the kid directly, okay? And then also the mother has to be on all this stuff. The older kid with cystic fibrosis, I don't know, we didn't get to how old the older kid is. Is the older kid 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 12? But let's call another day and we'll talk about the older kid. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to California, and Josephina, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Josephina. Hi, you're on the air. How can we help you?
Thank you for taking my call. I just called him because my nephew, he's 45, and we just discovered that he had AIDS. He has AIDS, but at this moment, it was when we find out, it was very advanced. So he had a inflammation in his head, and then he had to stay at the hospital for 2 weeks. He got out. He was a little better, and then he got another episode. He had to be back to the hospital for another week. And now the inflammation, it went down, but he lost 30 pounds. He's very weak. He has problem in the stomach.
Okay, how much does he weigh now? Since he's lost 30 pounds, how much does he weigh?
He's 6 feet tall, and he weighs 145.
Okay, that's after losing the weight.
Yeah, he lost. He's still losing a lot because he has a problem in the stomach, and they say that is tuberculosis. So it's very hard. Wait a
minute.
Yeah.
Now you're saying he has tuberculosis of the stomach?
Yeah, that's what the 2 days ago. That's what the doctor said, because he keeps having a fever at night, and he didn't know. They didn't know what it was. So the doctor.
Oh, okay. Well, he needs to go. Stop. He needs to go see another doctor. That doesn't sound right. He needs to go see another doctor and get another opinion. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But in the meantime, Charmaine, what would you give somebody with a history of AIDS? Okay. Weighs 145 pounds.
I would get him on 2 healthy brain and heart packs, and I would add the collagen peptides, the MSM. I would get him on the Oxybody cherry berry and vitamin D3 for absorption, and I'd also get him on Killer Biotic every day and colloidal silver.
Okay, well, you get an A+. You get an A+. Let's stop there.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, if they have access, I would find some place where they could use a hyperbaric chamber, which would definitely help them too.
With the breathing, yeah. Okay, so anyway, so the colloidal silver, I'd put 2 droppers full under his tongue, 30 minutes for each meal and 30 minutes for bedtime. And of course, the Killer Biotic, I take 3 twice a day. I only weigh 142, and I don't have any problems. So he could take 9 a day. The Killer Biotic supports the immune system, and the MSM and the collagen peptides that Char talked about will help the bone marrow, which makes the white blood cells and antibodies to support the immune system. Very important here. And let's start there. we'll keep our fingers crossed that everything goes well, but it wouldn't hurt to get another opinion from somebody else, at the other end of town, because what did they say he has in his stomach? He's got what?
All the stuff that you told me, and it's going to be okay?
Well, I can't tell, but that's the best we can do. I can't say he's going to be okay. I can say this is the best thing you can do for him.
I mean, no, neither is going to be okay. It's okay to take all that. I mean, his pills plus all the stuff that you told me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, this is in addition to all the stuff, the basic stuff. This is in addition to somebody that has a life-threatening infection with a virus like AIDS. Okay?
Okay. Two things that is, he's very weak right now and he cannot swallow. What do you think he can do to
well, this is where the liquids are going to be very, very important for him. Okay? And of course we have our shakes, and he can have he can get soft scrambled eggs and butter, very, very soft scrambled eggs and butter. Blend them up in one of our shakes, either the chocolate or the strawberry or vanilla or whatever. Not the keto shake. We don't want him to lose weight. Just one of our regular shakes, and it's a liquid, and he can add these nutrients to the shake. Okay, and have him work on that. All right, and give us a call back. Get another opinion of what's going on in his stomach. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, Doug, we have time. We can do another call here in this segment.
Yeah, let's head to Nebraska. And Dale, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Okay, Dale, you're on the air. How can we help you?
Yes, I have a 62-year-old man, 5'9", 175 pounds. He's got a few problems, a little bit of balance problems, a little bit of high blood pressure, which he's taking medication for, but he really has arthritis in his back and legs. But the biggest problem he's concerned with is asthma. How do you get rid of asthma?
Okay, Charmaine, what are we going to do, for Dale's friend here?
Well, right off, asthma is a gluten problem. He needs to get on a gluten-free diet, as does everyone. No wheat, barley, rye, or oats, no fried foods, no burnt animal fat, no oils, no peanuts, and no buckwheat. Then, at his weight, and what did he weigh?
175.
175. So he needs 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, and he needs a couple bottles of Ultimate Daily Classic to add to that. MSM.
And that's for the high blood pressure. And
collagen.
Take 3.
Yep. Go ahead.
Take 3 twice a day of the Ultimate Daily Classic. And if he's on medication for the high blood pressure, don't cold turkey off of that. But as the blood pressure begins to go down, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. Okay, keep going, Charmaine.
Yes, and then collagen peptides, MSM, and vitamin D3 for absorption, and I already said MSM, and he can also add to that for arthritis. You can add Glucoid Z and Ultimate or the Glucogel.
Yeah, and don't forget, there's going to come with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. You're going to get some bottles of our omega-3s. Make sure he takes omega-3, 3 of those twice a day. That's going to help him with the asthma. We'll be back after these messages.
You're listening to Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network with your host, Dr. Joel Wallach. If you've got a question for Dr. Wallach, call us weekdays between noon and 1 p.m. Pacific at 831-685-1080. Toll free, 888-379-2552.
Many believe that all life began in the Earth's oceans. We do know that the oceans and seas are still abundant with life and life-sustaining nutrients. Many cultures have long believed in the life-giving properties of plants and sea life harvested from the oceans. Longevity's Ocean's Gold is a proprietary blend of seaweeds, algae, mosses, kelp, sea cucumbers, and sea minerals, as well as coenzyme Q10, calcium, and iron, all designed to help support healthy thyroid function, regular heartbeat, normal weight, mood stabilization, and hormone levels. Take advantage of life-sustaining nutrients from the Earth's oceans with Youngevity's Ocean's Gold. If you'd like to learn more about nutritional supplementation, call your local Youngevity associate, and don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities.
In recent years, several studies have discovered the health benefits of drinking coffee. Youngevity has now taken it a step further with an entire product line of healthy coffees from Youngevity's JavaFit selection of top-shelf gourmet coffees. All JavaFit coffees are made from 100% premium hand-selected Aracaba coffee beans grown in the finest regions of Latin America. All carefully roasted, creating a delicious, rich, full-bodied flavor. Try JavaFit's Immune Plus, a full, robust coffee blend combined with the immune-supporting benefits of echinacea and the full-spectrum daily requirement of vitamins and minerals. Boost your immune system every day with JavaFit's Immune Plus multivitamin coffee. Available in 30-count single cup or 24-count single pot packs. Contact your local Youngevity distributor to get Javalution coffees. And don't forget to ask about the home-based business opportunity.
You've listened to physician and veterinarian Dr. Joel Wallach help many people on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie talk radio program. You've also heard hundreds of people tell how Dr. Wallach and Youngevity products have changed their lives. If you're now convinced that Dr. Wallach is onto something and you want to try Youngevity's premium quality products for yourself, we can connect you with a distributor that serves your local area. Simply call our special helpline voicemail at 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call right now and leave your name, telephone number, or email address, and we'll see to it that the right person contacts you shortly. Remember, the phone number, 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call now to change your life. That's 313-444-3463.
And Doug, let's go to callers or emails.
All right, let's head to North Carolina. And Fred, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Fred. You're on the air. How can we help you, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. I want a product for enlarged prostate and also something that can control blood pressure better.
Okay, is this for yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how much do you weigh?
About 214.
Okay.
5'9".
And how old?
214.
Okay, and how old are you?
72.
Okay. Any ringing in your ears or dizziness, anything like that?
Every once in a while, these things like that come along.
Okay, so it comes and goes. Okay,
Yes,
how many
sir.
times a night you wake up to urinate? Once, 3 times, 5 times?
Sometimes it might go up to about 5. But at least
Okay,
3,
so
maybe sometimes
3 to 5.
a little bit more. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, what's going on here, Shar?
He's got osteoporosis of the skull.
Yep. And so what are you going to do for him? We only have moments, so get to it, girl.
We're going to get him on 2 healthy brain and heart packs, 2 bottles of Ultimate Daily Classic, collagen peptides, MSM, vitamin D3 for absorption, and that's a good start right there. And I would get him on the Synaptive too. And he said he had some male problems. I'd get him on the Zera test.
Yep. Okay, very good. That's the way to go. And then give us a call every couple of weeks, Fred, because you're going to have a great report. And with the high blood pressure, don't cold turkey off your medication, but take 3 of those Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day. It'll be 2 bottles a month. And then as your blood pressure begins to come down, you can slowly reduce your medication based on the numbers. And usually within 2 to 6 weeks, you're going to have a great story. So call us every couple of weeks. Let us know what's going on or what's not going on. We'll walk you through this. The urination problem, the skull is squeezing the spinal cord, and the spinal cord is telling your urinary bladder to urinate, and that's why you're getting up 3 to 5 times a night to urinate. And as we rebuild the skull, the dizziness and ringing in the ears, that coming and going stuff, that'll all go away. And so you're going to have a whole new life. And so do call us every couple of weeks, because you are going to have a great report. And and you probably should get yourself this book and the CD set. It's all in your head. Get a hold of the book and the CD set. It's all in your head. So you'll understand what we're talking about here. It actually has a picture of a normal skull compared to a skull with osteoporosis. You can see the difference and why you have all these problems. There's 37 different diseases that you can get from osteoporosis of the skull, and you're describing 3 or 4 at least. Okay? And so it's one of those deals where you are going to have miracles happening within weeks. And so do these things, get rid of all the bad foods to maximize absorption. That's very, very important. You'll save a lot of money. People say, well, I don't know if I can spend $150 or $200 a month for all these supplements. Well, if you get rid of all the bad foods, you're getting rid of a lot of expenses, and it's actually going to be cheaper to take the supplements than it is to continue eating the bad foods. Plus, you'll get rid of the problems. And so it's a win-win-win-win situation to get on ownership. Because you have to do this forever. It's not like you do it until you feel better and then you quit. No. You got to do this forever. Otherwise, within a couple of weeks, you'll be back down in the hole again. And so if you get on auto ship, I will pay the shipping. It doesn't get any better than that. You will pay the wholesale prices. And so it's one of those things where you're going to have a win-win-win-win situation. Okay? And this is one of those glorious things where you cannot fail. We've had so many people over the past, close to 3 years now, with this osteoporosis of the skull thing, because doctors just don't talk about osteoporosis of the skull because they don't want people to know you can actually reverse and rebuild and cure osteoporosis. They want to do the double knee replacements. They want to do the double hip replacements. They want to do the vertebral surgeries and the neck surgeries and the shoulder surgeries. They want to do all that. They don't want to just give you some vitamins and minerals and make it all go away. Okay, so this is something that you're going to have a great story, and so we do look forward to hearing from you. Well, thank you so much, Charmaine. Beautiful job as usual. Thank you so much, Doug. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. God bless the American flag. God bless our national anthem. And God bless America.
When those aches and pains in your knees, elbows, hands, shoulders, and back crop up, reach for Youngevity's CM Cream. Put CM Cream on a Q-tip and put it in your ear canal for relief from headaches and sinus pressure. A topical temporary relief from minor aches and pains of muscles and joints associated with strains, sprains, and simple backaches. Why take aspirin or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs that can cause stomach bleeding and liver damage? Just apply CM Cream liberally to the affected areas, and within 20 minutes or so, you'll have relief from those nagging minor aches and pains. You'll feel better for up to 4 to 5 hours. So the next time you have achy joints or muscles, do what I do. Reach for CM Cream for relief. And for systemic relief, reach for CM Plus capsules. If you'd like to learn more about nutritional supplementation, call your local Youngevity associate, and don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities.
AM 1340, KOMY, La Selva Beach, Watsonville, Santa Cruz.
A service of ZBS.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Congressional leaders with the White House today. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, after his meeting with President Biden and other congressional leaders, talks about failures securing the borders and illegal drug activity.
There's not just any city. Every city today is now a border city. your affinity with Bakersfield now, in our own junior high. A junior high at the age of 13 brought 150 fentanyl pills to school. It's killing our youngest generation from 18 to 45, the number one factor, coming from China.
Meanwhile, President Biden's priority list, he says he hopes both parties' lawmakers can work together to keep the government open, boost spending for Ukraine, and avert a crippling rail strike. Also at townhall.com, the financial markets will be watching several events this week for the latest read on the economy.
Fed Chairman Jerome Powell will speak Wednesday about the outlook for the economy and the labor market. The government also is set to release several reports in the coming days. A report about job openings and labor turnover for October will be released on Wednesday, followed by a weekly unemployment claims report on Thursday. And the closely watched monthly report on the job market comes out on Friday.
Correspondent Greg Cluxton. U.S. banning the sale of communications equipment made by Chinese companies Huawei and ZTE, and restricting the use of some China-made video surveillance systems, citing an unacceptable risk to national security. New rules will block the importation or sale of certain technology products, the latest in a years-long escalation of U.S. restrictions of Chinese technology that began with former President Donald Trump. On Wall Street, a mixed close, the Dow up 15 points, but the Nasdaq down 65. More at townhall.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-940-6161. That's 1-800-940-6161. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-940-6161. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
On the international front, NATO's chief has reaffirmed the alliance's commitment to Ukraine. That comes ahead of a meeting of NATO foreign ministers in Romania. Karen Chamas with a report.
Speaking ahead of the meeting, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg said the possibility for Ukraine to join the bloc was still there.
The NATO door is open.
However, Stoltenberg asserted that Ukraine had more urgent needs.
However, the main focus now is on supporting Ukraine.
Most of all, the war-battered country will need electrical components for its devastated power transmission network ahead of a blistering winter. Stoltenberg accused Russia of deliberately attacking the energy infrastructure at a vital time for Ukraine.
President Putin is trying to use winter as a weapon of war.
I'm Karen Chamas.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Republicans are demanding a delay in certain results of several key Arizona races.
With echoes of the 2020 election, the disputes involve GOP candidates who blame narrow election losses on irregularities in voting districts controlled by Democrats. Democrat election officials in Maricopa County say problems that arose on Election Day involved machines that failed to print out legible ballots. Some GOP candidates contended the problems disenfranchised voters, forcing them to vote at more than one location, in some cases neither of their votes being counted. Bob Agnew reporting.
Two Federal Reserve officials say they favor raising the Fed's key rate to roughly 5% or more and keeping it at its peak through next year, longer than many Wall Street analysts had expected. One of them, John Williams, president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, says the central bank has more work to do to reduce inflation closer to its 2% target. More on these stories at townhall.com. More work to do to reduce inflation closer to its 2% target. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Simon with your King of the Hill traffic and weather update. Traffic on highways 17, 152, 129, 68, 101, and 25 moving at or near the limit, while Highway 1 traffic is still slow moving in the Carmel area. Weather forecast for today, sunny with northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight mostly clear with lows in the low 30s, high 30s rather. North wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow sunny with north winds 5 to 7 miles per hour, becoming light and variable. There is a 20% chance of rain forecasted for Wednesday evening and a 100% probability of rain on Thursday. The high temperatures forecasted around the Monterey Bay for today are 59 degrees.
Hey, and welcome. This is the Ben Shapiro Show. We'll get to all the news in just one moment, but first.
Hiring? You need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds qualified candidates for you and invites them to apply. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Well, the chaos continues in China as mass protests continue across China. The consequences for the regime are yet unknown, but there's some serious questions to be asked about zero COVID policy generally. And the West is letting itself off a little bit easy here. What I mean by this is that right now, the sort of resistance that you are seeing in China to China's zero COVID policy, which has been spurred by the fact that China was literally welding people into apartment buildings to prevent them from leaving because they may have had COVID. And this resulted in a fire in an apartment building that killed 10 people. And that has resulted in all of the chaotic demonstrations that you're seeing, the so-called white paper revolution over there. The West is letting itself off easy because for literally 2 years, China was held up as a quasi-model for this sort of behavior. China was lying to the world. They lied about the release of the virus. They knew, apparently, according to Scott Gottlieb of the FDA, as early as October or at the very latest November of 2019, there was human-to-human transmission of the virus, and they allowed it to escape Wuhan and infect literally millions of people around the world. The virus ended up killing over 1.5 million Americans, according to the latest CDC statistics. And meanwhile, the media, members of the White House, including Anthony Fauci, they sort of covered for the Chinese. They suggested that the Chinese were doing it right. And all over the world, there was talk about how there needed to be lockdowns. There needed to be this sort of Chinese authoritarianism that would get this thing stopped in its tracks. Now, the problem is twofold. One, it didn't stop things in its tracks in China. China lied about everything. They lied about their stats. They lied about illness. They lied about death. They lied about the virus itself. They kept the actual virus's DNA composition hidden for literally months so that people couldn't develop the vaccine earlier and therefore save many, many lives, particularly of the elderly. But all over the world, the press praised people who locked down hard. So if you're Andrew Cuomo and you were sort of a lockdown advocate, you were the greatest. And if you were Ron DeSantis, then you were Ron Death Santis. If you were New Zealand's Jacinda Ardern and you were talking about locking down the entire country for months on end, you were a great heroine of the world, saving lives every day. If you were Australia and you were tracking down teenagers who were hanging out by themselves on the beach, and you had dystopian images of drones that were following people on the beach, arresting people. Oh my God, somebody has COVID. We have to track them down using the Hound from Fahrenheit 451. This was considered good policy by a lot of people on the left, a lot of people in the media. And China was seen as a model for all of this. And so now there's an attempt to walk back the sort of enthusiasm for lockdown, the enthusiasm for Chinese methodologies. There's an attempt to walk that back because obviously it, number one, didn't work. And number two, it actually is violative of human freedoms. But we should not forget that if given the opportunity, there are a lot of people in authority who use single factor analysis to determine what to do in times of crisis, who would go along with the kind of stuff that we have seen in China and are continuing to see in China. There are a lot of people who go along with that. And this is sort of the nature of a bureaucratic Western state. Bureaucracies tend to operate along single factor analysis lines. So politicians are elected to weigh and balance. There's a lot of talk at the very beginning of COVID about how we should figure out what public policy looked like. Should this be up to the bureaucrats like Dr. Fauci over at the NIH, or should it be up to the elected politicians, even the ones you don't like President Trump? Who should actually make the policy? And the best politicians were the ones who actually came out and said, I am making the call. I was elected to make this call because there are a lot of questions as to how we make this balance. Do kids get to go to school? There's serious cost to kids not going to school. Can you go and open your workplace? There's serious cost to you staying home. Should we just force everybody to stay home and blow trillions of dollars into the economy, creating an unprecedented inflation spiral that is going to result in some pretty serious global economic consequence? And these are all questions that politicians should have been asking themselves. But the easiest thing in a bureaucratic republic to do is kick it over to the bureaucrats. And if you are a bureaucrat, your chief goal is to focus in on the one thing that allows you to keep your job. The mission of your agency, is something that James Q. Wilson talks about in his book Bureaucracy, that agencies are typically designed in order to facilitate their quote-unquote mission. But if the mission is very specific, it becomes the only thing that they care about. So if the mission for the NIH is quote-unquote save lives, then all the other factors go out the window. All of the costs of keeping people out of school, all of the costs of shutting down your business, all of the economic costs, all of the costs in loneliness and deaths of despair. All that stuff goes out the window because you have one goal and one goal only, and that is zero COVID. And for a very long time, that was the policy of the United States. Dr. Anthony Fauci was preaching this. He was suggesting, without any sort of actual statistical evidence, that we were going to get to something approaching zero COVID. He would suggest that we get to less than 10,000 cases a day, and then he would set an arbitrary marker, maybe 40,000 cases a day, maybe 0 cases a day. But he would say, the more cases they are, the worse it is. And the problem with that is that facilitates a logic that leads to lockdowns. That is a problem. And we knew from the very beginning, really, from like a couple of months in, it was fully obvious that lockdowns were not going to solve this problem. There were those of us in the media who were talking about the idea that if you actually wanted to protect and shield the population, you need to focus on protecting and shielding the most vulnerable, because it was very clear from the evidence that the people who are chiefly affected by this were people with serious pre-existing conditions, serious obesity, diabetes, cancer, leukemia, and the very elderly. And the stats showed that. I mean, if you actually look at the CDC statistics today, what you will see is that as of today, 76.1% of all people in the United States who died of COVID were above the age of 65, which we knew from very early on, which would have suggested that if we actually wanted to pursue anything remotely like herd immunity, what we should have been doing is tranching out the population by age. What we should have been doing is saying all the 20-year-olds go back to work. Okay, you all got infected and you're all fine because you're 20. Now all the 30-year-olds go back to work. And what you're doing is you're cutting down the vectors of transmissibility. But not only are you cutting down the factors of transmissibility, you're also allowing people to go back to work in tranches, and you are shielding the most vulnerable. And by the way, I should mention that right now in the United States, again, these are CDC statistics, 94% of all people who have died from COVID are above the age of 50. 94%. So it is no surprise that we find that in the latest upsurge in COVID deaths are skewing older again. A little bit more on this in a moment. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
According to the Washington Post, President Biden may have declared the coronavirus pandemic over, but from John Felton's view as the Yellowstone County Health Officer in Billings, Montana, it's not over, just different. Now more than ever, it is a plague of the elderly, but it was always a plague of the elderly. I'm amused to see the Washington Post pretend that this is like a breaking news thing. It was not breaking news. We knew very early on that young people were disproportionately fine from this virus. In October, Felton's team logged 6 deaths due to the virus, many of them among vaccinated people. Their ages 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 90s. Yellowstone County made the decision early in the crisis to recognize each death individually. Felton said it is important as ever to acknowledge the unrelenting toll on a still vulnerable older generation while most everyone has moved on. But that is the thing about being old, is that older people tend to die. The death rates among people in their 90s are much higher than the death rates among people in their 20s. So what you're talking about here is vulnerable people tend to be vulnerable, which is not any sort of breaking news. And by the way, this is the area in which the vaccines have had their most significantly positive effect. I mean, people above the age of 65 who got the vaccines, particularly, had significantly lower rates of death from COVID and lower rates of serious disease from COVID than people who did not get the vaccine if you were above the age of 65. But again, we knew from the beginning that this was true. And yet there was this push for broad lockdown. And there was enthusiasm about broad lockdown that continues until this day. And so there are two things that are worth noting about China. One is obviously the geopolitical chaos that is ensuing because of the unrest in China. What does it mean for China's foreign policy? What does it mean for China cracking down on its own citizens? What should the West do? That's one issue. The second issue is we look at what China is doing right now with these lockdowns and has been doing for a couple of years with these lockdowns. And you wonder, is that sort of authoritarianism totally foreign to the West? Is that something that could quote unquote never happen here? Or should we be looking at China and should be very wary about the kind of powers we give to governments? Because, again, our government was rather warm on this sort of stuff until very, very recently. Literally this week, Anthony Fauci, who is going to leave his job, we can only pray sooner rather than later, Anthony Fauci was asked about shutting schools down again going into the winter. And he kind of started weirdly giggling about it on Face the Nation. It was odd.
Coming out of the holidays, should parents expect schools to shut down?
I don't know, Margaret. I'm not sure. When you talk about shutting down schools, there's always the collateral
That's also
effects.
radioactive.
It is, exactly. There's always the collateral issues.
That's a weird laugh. I mean, he says now that there are collateral issues, but very early on, he was very much pushing for these sorts of shutdowns. And he still sees circumstances in which lockdowns would be a net positive. Go back to April, and he was talking about Chinese policy, and he says, listen, China may be doing it too long, but is lockdown policy really the worst idea? I mean, if it gets people vaccinated, maybe it's something that you might have to do sometimes. Here's Anthony Fauci conditionally endorsing Chinese policy.
Well, China has a number of problems, two of which are that their complete lockdown, which was their approach, a strictest lockdown that you'd never be able to implement in the United States, although that prevents the spread of infection. And remember, early on, they were saying, and I think accurately, that they were doing better than almost anybody else. But lockdown has its consequences. You use lockdowns to get people vaccinated so that when you open up, you won't have a surge of infections because you're dealing with an immunologically naive population to the virus because they've not really been exposed because of the lockdown.
Okay, but the problem is that Anthony Fauci considers the United States population largely immunologically naive. He was out there just a few days ago now talking about how if there was a wave of death this winter, it was going to come from those who are unvaccinated. So there are no standards there. So the question becomes, what level of crisis is going to necessitate the sorts of lockdowns that we have been seeing in China? By the way, it is worth noting here that Anthony Fauci has been bizarrely conciliatory toward the Chinese. I mean, it is very, very weird because the fact is, again, China is the world's worst actor when it comes to this virus. It is because of the Chinese government that literally millions of people are dead. They have killed millions of people. This virus did not have to escape Wuhan, whether it was released from a lab, whether it was not released from a lab. It did not have to escape Wuhan. They knew early on what was going on. They facilitated, they encouraged travel, and it killed 5-6 million people across the world. And that is the fault of the Chinese government. And yet Fauci is still weirdly conciliatory with them. He was asked, actually, this week about China not being forthcoming about the virus, and he actually blamed Trump, which is strange because if you actually remember to the beginning of the Trump administration, Trump was very conciliatory toward China. In January of 2020, you remember that Donald Trump was actually talking about how the Chinese were doing a good job cracking down on it, and they were being open about the virus, and they were working with the WHO. It was only later that Trump turned on China when he got the information or was willing to reveal the information that China had basically hidden a bunch of information. But here's Fauci still kind of standing for China. Weird.
Have you seen anything that Beijing has produced at all in terms of explanation or data?
Well, their explanation is an explanation that they will not allow us to look at the primary information. We need a transparency and a collaboration to open things up so that we could discuss it in a non-accusatory way. What happens is that if you look at the anti-China approach that clearly the Trump administration had right from the very beginning, and the accusatory nature, the Chinese are going to flinch back and say, no, I'm sorry, we're not going to talk to you about it.
Okay, that's patently crazy. Okay, the Chinese, again, were hiding this thing from October of the year before. And Anthony Fauci's out there standing for China. By the way, it is worth noting here that Anthony Fauci was asked about whether the United States and the NIH in particular under his auspices had helped to fund gain-of-function research in Wuhan that led to the arising of this virus. He said, well, we're almost certain that it wasn't us.
I can't tell you what's going on in all of China and in other things, but I can tell you for sure that if you look at the viruses that the NIH grant funded to study in a surveillance way, anybody who even has a peripheral understanding of evolutionary virology will tell you these viruses could not possibly turn into SARS-CoV-2. So when you talk about a leak, maybe there's a lab leak, but it's not with the viruses that the NIH was funding. That's almost certain that that's the case.
Almost certain is a pretty weird kind of holdback right there. We'll get to more on this in just one moment. First, you need a better night's sleep. We all need a better night's sleep, and this means we need a mattress made just for us. I have one. It's called Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep is a premium mattress brand that provides tailored mattresses based on your unique sleep preferences. The Helix lineup includes 14 unique mattresses, including a collection of luxury models, a mattress for big and tall sleepers, even a mattress made just for kids. So how are you going to know which Helix mattress works best for you? Well, they have this quick quiz. This Helix Sleep quiz takes 2 minutes, and it'll give you precisely the mattress you need. Your personalized mattress is then shipped directly to your door free of charge, and Helix knows there's no better way to test out that mattress than by actually sleeping on it, which is why they offer a 100-night risk-free trial. Try out your new Helix mattress and see how your body adjusts. If you decide it's not the best fit, you are welcome to return it for a full refund. Everybody is unique, everybody sleeps differently, so why would you get a mattress made for somebody else? Helix is offering up to $350 off all mattress orders, plus 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/Ben. It's their best offer yet. It's not going to last long. With Helix, better sleep starts right now. Again, helixsleep.com/Ben. Get up to $350 off all mattress orders plus 2 free pillows when you order today.
Hiring? You need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds qualified candidates for you and invites them to apply. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Alrighty, coming up, we'll get to China and their surveillance tools. I mean, theoretically, if they're for use in China, could they be used against you at some point? This is the Ben Shapiro Show.
Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN is a nonprofit that has helped me literally change the lives of people in my community through the Donated Dental Services Program. DLN asks dentists to volunteer to see just one of the many patients in need each year. If you're a dentist or know a dentist, please share this information. Like me, they can make a real difference in someone's life. DLN makes it easy.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more.
This message furnished by Dental Lifeline Network.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, call Term Busters. 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Are you in trouble with the IRS? Detaxify is the trusted tax relief solution that has an A+ rating with the BBB, 5-star rating from Google, and specializes in the IRS Fresh Start program.
If you have years of unfiled back tax returns or owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, the government has the power to garnish your wages, freeze your bank account, and in some cases they can now revoke your passport. This is John Zandy, president of Detaxify. Detaxify specializes in the Fresh Start program where we help struggling taxpayers get out of collections or settle their tax debt. If you're being audited or dealing with threatening letters from the government, you may need professional tax relief representation. My team at Detaxify can stop the tax collectors and stop the threatening letters from the IRS or state. Call me now for a free consultation.
Call now, 800-601-7780. That's 800-601-7780. Detaxify offers a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Call now, 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast. Bo Jackson talks about his greatest accomplishment.
July 21st, 1990, I took third strike on purpose right down the pipe, turned around, had a few choice words with the umpire. He proceeded to toss me out of the game, spent the rest of the day with my wife and my baby girl, who was born that morning at 6:30 a.m.
The Rich Eisen Show podcast, wherever you listen.
If you're 19 or older with certain underlying medical conditions such as asthma or diabetes, you can get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're 65 or older, it is also recommended you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. No matter the season, talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protect yourself. A message from the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
Furnished by the American Lung Association.
Welcome back. This is the Ben Shapiro Show. So China is unveiling the full power of the surveillance state. China is now using extraordinarily modern methodologies in order to surveil its own citizens. And this is something that should scare people in the West. Because if you look again at people like Anthony Fauci, even if you take Anthony Fauci at his word that all he wants are sometimes very harsh temporary lockdowns, the question always becomes how temporary. And the Biden administration is still declaring we're in the middle of a COVID emergency for purposes of relieving student loan debt. And it is now November of 2022. And this virus broke out in the United States in January of 2020. So the question becomes, should we be worried about a government that has the capacity to monitor all of its citizens the way that China does? And it should raise questions about tech. They should raise questions about the sort of interfacing between big tech and big government. According to the Wall Street Journal, China's COVID protesters are the targets of Beijing's surveillance state. And the reality is that the KGB never could have dreamt of this level of surveillance. The ability that the Chinese government has to monitor literally everyone. I mean, they have a social credit system over there. They're monitoring everybody's online. They can monitor your phone. They can make sure that they know exactly where you are at any time, literally any time. There's never been a surveillance state like this in human history. And the Chinese have perfected this, which means, by the way, that it's going to be very difficult for there to be an actual regime overthrow in a place like China, so long as the military retains its loyalty to Xi Jinping. But this has some pretty significant ramifications for those of us who live in the West as well, because at any moment, you could have a government that declares an emergency over something like COVID and simply locks you in your home and then monitors you, cuts you off from the banking. Like, it doesn't take somebody paranoid to see the line of where things could go if the wrong people are in charge. Or if people take what they believe to be the most life-affirming decision in order to protect the most lives. They just have to lock everybody in their house. And if you violate the rules, then we follow you around. Or let's say that it's disconnected entirely from things like the virus. We have to foster and facilitate a set of social values that a huge percentage of the population doesn't like. And in order to do that, we're going to unleash the surveillance state on you. We're going to monitor exactly what you do. We're going to monitor your credit card purchases. We're going to cut you off from systems, because this is what China does. And when these sorts of financial and surveillance weapons are out there, usually an arms race begins by governments which are constantly seeking to centralize power. And better to be a little bit too paranoid and reduce government power than to be not paranoid enough and give them enough power to actually destroy your liberty. Because what we're watching in China is a tech surveillance state in service to an authoritarian regime. Quote, Chinese police have begun leveraging the powers of the country's surveillance state to go after demonstrators who participated in rare public displays of defiance over the government's stringent COVID protocols. Wang Shengsheng, a lawyer providing legal support to more than 20 protesters from Beijing, Shanghai, and other cities, said at least 15 people or their families and friends reached out to her for help after being contacted by local police. She said she suspected police had used data from mobile phones, including apps used to monitor COVID exposure, to track the movements of people involved in protests. By the way, this is just another good reason why we should ban TikTok in the United States. TikTok is a Chinese op, and it is one of the most successful Chinese ops in human history. Police were also scanning social media accounts to investigate protesters, according to this lawyer. A university student in Beijing who participated in Sunday's protest in the city said his school had been contacted by police. The school told him police had used mobile phone data to track his movements to the vicinity of the protest. He said he'd been asked to write a declaration explaining why he was present in the area at the time. Under leader Xi Jinping, according to the Wall Street Journal, China has expanded its ability to track the movements and activities of its citizens. While this didn't stop the protests from breaking out, China's security apparatus has begun to lean on it to prevent them from spreading. Besides hundreds of millions of cameras, some equipped with facial recognition software that line city streets, police can also access detailed mobile phone and social media data that shows locations of people at a given time. The government has enhanced these capabilities over the past 2 years as part of contact tracing efforts to control the spread of the virus. The efforts to track protesters came as Chinese health officials responded to the public anger over COVID-19 policies and appeared to recalibrate their message on the danger posed by the virus. On Tuesday, the National Health Commission urged local government officials to avoid unnecessary and lengthy lockdowns. Health officials said the Omicron variant led to less severe COVID cases than previous variants. The message echoed a similar shift from Chinese state media, which is good news. It seems like the Chinese government is beginning to realize that its lockdown policies are creating all sorts of chaos internally. But again, if China decides to repress its people, it just will. China's state media has continued to defend the country's zero COVID policies, saying it has saved lives. On Tuesday, a commentary in the People's Daily blamed more than a half dozen private COVID-tested businesses for unnecessary lockdowns, accusing them of producing false positive results. On Monday, the U.S. Embassy issued a notice of warning of expanded COVID control measures in China as the outbreaks grow. It said, we encourage all U.S. citizens to keep a 14-day supply of medications, bottled water, and food for yourselves and any members of your household. All this should be enough to scare any person who loves liberty and who also seeks more than single-factor analysis in determining what public policy should look like. Alrighty, coming up, the Biden administration reacts to the protests in China, and it is weak sauce, man. This is the Ben Shapiro Show.
The holidays are here. Achieve gifting greatness when you give the gift of perfectly aged, tender, and delicious Omaha Steaks. The steak experts at Omaha Steaks have put together special curated gift packages to help take the guesswork out of gifting and make you a holiday hero. Go to omahasteaks.com and use code SIZZLE at checkout to get $30 off your order. Send an assortment of mouth-watering favorites guaranteed to impress, like the legendary Butcher's Cut Filet Mignon, air-chilled boneless chicken, ultra juicy burgers, and even easy-to-prepare comfort meals that are ready in a flash. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship your order right away, so shop early and beat the shipping rush. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code SIZZLE at checkout. Omaha Steaks is a gift from the heart, a gift that'll be remembered with every unforgettable bite. Order with complete confidence today, knowing you're ordering the very best. Visit omahasteaks.com, use promo code SIZZLE at checkout to get that extra $30 off your order. Minimum order may be required.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast. Bo Jackson talks about his greatest accomplishment.
July 21st, 1990, I took third strike on purpose right down the pipe, turned around, had a few choice words with the umpire. He proceeded to toss me out of the game, spent the rest of the day with my wife and my baby girl, who was born that morning at 6:30 a.m.
The Rich Eisen Show podcast, wherever you listen.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers.
Call 800-715-9880.
That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
Call 800-715-9880. That's 800-715-9880.
Sponsored by Annuity General. Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, call Term Busters. 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Message and data rates may apply. Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text APPLY NOW to 88909 right now to get started. That's APPLY NOW to 88909. Auto financing the easy way. Text APPLY NOW to 88909.
If you're 19 or older with certain underlying medical conditions such as asthma or diabetes, you can get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're 65 or older, it is also recommended you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. No matter the season, talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protect yourself. A message from the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
Furnished by the American Lung Association.
Welcome back. This is the Ben Shapiro Show. So Joe Biden and the White House have now responded to China's aggressions against its own citizens, and their answer is, Now, there is something weird happening inside the Biden administration, which is that they are very reticent